Marketing Your Private Practice is a podcast where you'll learn easy to implement tips and strategies to grow your business without spending all day online. I'm your host, Kathy Colaiacovo, and I teach practitioners the Thrive marketing method to create simple and streamlined plans by focusing on long-term strategies, not just social media. Discover ways to spend less time on your marketing, attract more clients, and build the financial freedom that comes with a thriving practice. One where you have time left in your day for the people and things that matter to you. Hey, private practice heroes, it's Kathy Colaiacovo, and thanks for tuning in to learn some tips and strategies on the Marketing Your Private Practice with Kathy C podcast. My goal is to help you streamline your marketing so that you are getting more traffic, more leads, and more clients to your practice or business. Clients that you can help and clients that will pay you for your services. Now, today I wanted to share with you a new feature on Instagram that will help you start bringing more traffic to your website, literally the minute you start using this new feature. Now, back in December, I did an episode on the podcast all about helping you to fix one thing on your Instagram profile that could get you more traffic to your website instantly. This lesson was focused on the link in your bio on Instagram. You only have one link to use, so people were often relying on a link in bio tool, as they call them. And this was a way to have one link that could send people to several places. So when they click that link, they would come to a temporary page on one of these link in bio tools like Linktree, or actually called a link in bio. And this page would send people to maybe your website, to a lead magnet, a special page on your website, maybe a recent blog or article, or even a link to click and contact you. There's always lots of places you might want to send people to from this link on your bio. But without the ability to have a live and clickable link in a post, well, at least for folks who have under 10,000 followers, using one of these special link in bio tools was ideal. Now, if you listen to that lesson from me, you know why I do not recommend using these tools. And instead, I always recommend that you create your own page on your own website and send people there instead. So what you do with this recommendation is create your own link in bio page, but you do it on your website. And this means you stop sending traffic to someone else's website, like the Linktree or link in bio websites. Instead, you begin to send them to your site where your domain gets the traffic and the love from Google because you are getting more traffic. Well, recently, there's been a change that's happened on Instagram, and it is a game-changing change. When it comes to marketing, and especially the strategy of sending people to your website and not someone else's, this new feature is it. So the new feature allows you to add up to, wait for it now, I'm going to say a number, 5. You can add up to 5 links in your Instagram bio now. And it's a feature that is available to everyone, which is something that doesn't always happen. Everyone getting access to a feature, sometimes that is just something they do not do with some of these social media channels. They roll them out. But this time, everybody's got it. It's like you're on the Oprah show and getting one of the gifts she gives everybody in the audience. Now, I do suspect they're giving this to everyone and making this change because some of the changes that have happened recently with TikTok, which is one of the bigger competitors of Instagram. So they're letting business accounts do something similar. But according to Mark Zuckerberg, when they made the announcement about the Instagram change, one of the reasons they did this is because it is one of the most requested features. And that I definitely believe. We've been used to marketing tactics on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn that let you post a clickable link. This inability for most of the users on Instagram, especially business accounts, has been a challenge, and that's why I'm sure it's the most requested feature. It's also why companies like Linktree and Link in Bio have popped up over the past few years. They're serving a need that is wanted by many, many people. If you had over 10,000 followers, you can always add a link to your posts, but not that many people have more than 10,000 followers on Instagram. And if you ever wonder where you fit in here, well, HubSpot and Mention put a report together. And according to this report, there are only about 16% of all users on Instagram, and there are well over 1 billion users, but only 16% of these billion plus people have more than 10,000 followers. That is not very many people. So if you have less than 10,000 followers, you are very much in the majority here. And that's why people have looked for a way to have links easily accessible to folks. So when they share a call to action, people listening or reading their posts can easily follow that call to action. Now, my advice has always been make your own dang Instagram landing page on your own website. And that's what I shared in the podcast episode in December. And I will link to that because it is important for you to understand the strategy behind this. But I also know that making a landing page like this isn't something that's within the tech abilities of all small business owners. Not all practitioners or entrepreneurs can easily make a landing page like this on your website. And that's why so many people use those link in bio tools. It was really just a fill in the blank kind of thing. And all of a sudden you had a page that would let you share different kinds of calls to action on Instagram, send people to your link in bio, and they could get access to those different calls to action. And this is why the new feature is such a game changer, because we're back to that add a simple link, a fill in the blank kind of thing, even up to 5 links, if you can imagine it, to get people to the right place on your website. It really is going to be as easy as copy and paste of your website links. Now, this might make you wonder, why am I devoting an entire episode of the podcast to this topic? Well, mainly because, like all things marketing, you need to plan and have a strategy behind even those 5 links that you're going to put on your Instagram bio. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. Some best practices for using the links that you have in this list of 5 possible links you can put on your Instagram profile. So we're going to dive into this. And I also want to share how you can check and verify if these links that you're going to start using will be helping you or not. The marketing strategy we want to think about here with this list of 5 potential links boils down to a little more than just what links do you use, because that's what a lot of people are going to think. Oh, Kathy, this is just too easy. Why do I need to listen to the rest of this episode? I'm just going to put my 5 links in there. Well, there is some marketing strategy behind this, and this is what I want you to think about before you enter those 5 links. And maybe you're not going to use 5 because not everybody has 5 to use. But I really want to have you thinking about these 3 factors and strategies to consider for choosing and using those links that you're going to put on your Instagram bio. So the first one is all about the links themselves, choosing what links you're going to use in your Instagram bio. What if you have more than 5 now? What are you going to do? Because the limit is 5. And I know that many of you out there have more than 5 links on your Instagram landing page. But what if you only have 3? Then what are you going to do? Well, here's the way that I would start with this. Pick your top links. Choosing the links is important. And what I recommend is that you pick your top valued links, the most useful and helpful ones that you want to share and that you want to have available for the calls to action that you might be using or including in your Instagram content. So when you're deciding on what 5 to use here, you want to think about the calls to action that you always use in your captions, in your stories, in your Instagram posts, in your reels, in your videos, whatever you're putting out there for content on Instagram. Think about those top CTAs that you're always using. This is where the list of the 5 links and what ones you're going to use there will begin. Now, if you have less than 5 that you typically use, just use those ones. You don't have to fill out all 5 areas. In fact, some marketing strategists might argue you're a lot more concise and targeted with your calls to action when you have fewer links and fewer calls to action. So think about that too. Now, for those of you that might have more than 5, because this could be the case that you use or want to use, then what you may need to do is make one of those 5 links your good old Instagram landing page that we talked about creating in that other episode. This would be the link that you always used before as your main Instagram bio link before this new feature came along. So you can use that one as one of your 5 links. Now, I still recommend, if you can, not to use a Linktree or link in bio one. So if you plan to keep this Instagram landing page in use as one of the 5 links, please make sure that you go back and listen to episode 18 and understand why you want to have your own landing page for this on your own website, and why it is a big mistake when it comes to your overall marketing strategy to use one of those free tools. Because when you use them, all you are doing is losing valuable website traffic, which frankly, few folks in your stage of business can afford to do. So I don't want you losing traffic. I want you to help your own domain get more traffic. So I will link to episode 18 in the show notes, wherever you're listening to this podcast. Whatever app you're listening on, you'll find it there, or you can visit the show notes page at marketingyourprivatepractice.com/49. So picking the 5 links, you have to really think about the calls to action you use, what links you want to put there. And if you have more than 5, you may need to use that Instagram landing page as well. Now, the second thing to factor in choosing the links that you're going to do with these 5 options that you now have is organizing and what order you're going to place those links in on your Instagram bio. What I want you to think about here is the high value conversion links that you're going to be sharing. So think about that whole list. So you create the list of 5 that you want to use, or less than 5, whatever it might be. And think about what one do you use the most? What ones will take people through the conversion process on your website and have them go from being a website visitor to a lead or even a client? What ones do you use for your lead magnet, in other words, or maybe a free consult or a special article on your website you're always telling people to read? Maybe it's a workshop. So what you want to do here is think about the links that you want to use in these 5 options. And I always suggest putting the most often used or the highest valued call to action that you use in your Instagram content at the top of the list. It should go first. Then you would choose the others in the list based on the actions you tell people to do. What do you use more often and not as often? So this will be very unique for everybody based on your business setup, your lead generation options, and the tactics that you're using to market your services or your offers. But what I want you to think about here is when you send somebody to look at those links, so when they click that little plus symbol that's now by the Instagram bio, what are they going to see first? If you're constantly telling people to go to a specific lead magnet, that should be up at the top, okay? If it's more important for people to book a discovery call, that should be at the top. So you really have to think this through based on your own practice or your own business. If you're not sure what ones to use where, why not let me help you out by booking a free marketing review with me? We can cover this very thing on the marketing review. Now, I offer these free as part of the podcast, and they are a way to get my expertise to help you at no charge. Well, I guess technically we could call it there is a fee because we record the session and it becomes a podcast episode. So your fee is really publicity for you and your business or your practice. But don't panic. It's audio only, and it's also free marketing for you too, because I will share and promote the podcast. And I will always, if people have social media profiles and information online that I can tag you to, I will definitely do that. But more importantly, it's an opportunity to get some of your marketing questions answered without fretting over what to do. So instead of taking more time trying to decide what order should these links go in, book a review with me and I'll help you make that decision. So if you're not sure how to organize those links, hit the link in the show notes. You can also visit pepperitmarketing.com/review and sign up, and I'll help you walk through this challenge of figuring out which one should go at the top. Now, this is your second strategy with these links. First, you're going to decide what ones you want to use. Then you need to decide what order they're going to go in the list. Now, the third strategy you want to factor into setting up these 5 links is naming the links. And this is something folks don't often consider when they add links to any kind of social media or other online directory or profile that you can put links into. Most people just think, I'll add my lead magnet, and then they type in the words lead magnet and then enter the link, and off they go. They're done. They've got the link in there. But even with something as simple as this, you can be more strategic about naming those links. And you can do something that has strategy behind it that is actually geared to help people know what that link can do for them if they click it. Because those links that you're sharing, they are a path to a solution for people when they check them out. So you want to help them understand the solution you might have for them if they click the link. So as an example, if your lead magnet is a free intuitive eating guide, instead of putting lead magnet there, put the title free intuitive eating guide and then put the link in. People will totally understand what that is. If it's a free marketing stats tracking template, which is one I have, I use those words as the name. People understand then what they're going to get with it besides something as simple as a free template or a lead magnet, okay? If it's booking a free discovery call, use those words. That says a lot more than just book with me. People might assume book with me is book a paying appointment versus a free discovery call. So when you're adding those links in there, think about the words and put action words into them, benefit-driven words before you add the link. So name them with a purpose. So those are the 3 factors that I want you to think about as you're putting these links into your Instagram profile. But as a 4th option to all of these, I want you to think about as well how you can plan and be strategic about when you're changing up these links. Because here's one thing a lot of people think. They think they should just put these links in and let them be. But they are not a set it and forget it type of marketing strategy or tool. No way. They have a purpose, and that means they need to be current and up to date. So you'll want to make sure that you're tracking these links and making sure that they are working, that they are helping you, and that if things change up in your business or your practice, remember that you may need to go back and change and update those links. So I recommend doing this in 2 ways. First, keep a document that has your links and the list you're using of links on your Instagram bio. Date it and make a note of this so that when you add a link, you'll go in and update this document. And when you change them out and remove them, you'll update it as well. This just helps you know and understand what you have now as the list, what you might have used before, so you can see the history too. And the history and knowing when you change the links can really help you when you start looking at and tracking the stats and the traffic from Instagram. And so this is kind of the other thing that you want to look at when it comes to these links is making note of the traffic you're getting from Instagram by checking your analytics and paying attention to the data that you have access to. I like to keep track of these numbers in my stats tracking template, in my document that I use to enter in monthly stats about newsletters, stats about consults, stats about clients, stats about lead magnets, and also stats about my analytics and knowing and understanding a few main things. 1, what's the top visited page or pages on my website? I always want to know the top 10 every month. The other thing that it's good for you to know is where is the traffic coming from? One thing that you'll be able to see if you're tracking your stats and looking at traffic coming to your website from certain places, like being referred from social media channels, you'll be able to know if the traffic is increasing from Instagram. This helps you know what links they're using and clicking as well from your bio. So that's how you're going to know if this change that you're making by adding the links is actually helping you. So this is something that you'll be able to track and watch the changes and shifts and patterns happen. Especially when you start using these links, you'll want to pay attention to this information. So you should be checking your Google Analytics to see this information and looking at the traffic that's coming to your website from Instagram. You will find this in the reports area called acquisition, and that's a section in your analytics. And it will be there whether you're using the new version, which is called Google Analytics 4 or GA4 for short, or the older one. And I'm going to give you a little pro tip here on your analytics. This is your reminder that the older version of Google Analytics will stop tracking information as of July 1st, 2023. This means you want to be sure you've set up the new system that they've been warning people to do for about a year now. So you want your GA4, your Google Analytics 4, all set up, and be sure that you and your website manager have taken care of this, or after July 1st, you will not be seeing any data from that. So it's important that you get this update done. And that's how you will be able to take a look at this information and know and understand if you're seeing some changes in your website traffic from the shift in using more links in your Instagram profile. But more importantly, especially if you've been using those link and bio tools, that you've stopped that, and that will almost instantly show you getting more traffic too. But you've got to go in and look at that information. You've got to get into your analytics on your website to understand this. And Google Analytics is free. It's not that complicated to use and understand. We do an entire module of training on this in the Thrive Marketing Academy, but Google does have some good help files that can get you going. And if you do have a website manager, this is something you both should be making sure that you know that it's set up, that it's tracking the information, and that you can go in and look at your reports and get that information too. Because there is some gold in all that data, I will tell you. It's really good information and can help you know what to do more of and what to do less of when it comes to your marketing. So there you have it. That's some new information about what I call a game-changing feature on Instagram, and the factors that you want to consider for choosing and using your Instagram bio links now that this new feature has rolled out. And you can add up to 5 links connected to your Instagram bio and your profile there. Now, your action step from this lesson today, I want you to take some time and check out this new feature and follow the list of strategies I shared today. Those 3 strategies are: choose the links with purpose that you want to use in your Instagram bio, be strategic with the order you place those links in on your bio, and make sure that you're using the option to name those links with benefit-driven words, action-oriented words, before you copy and paste the link in. And don't forget, tracking the links and activity that will happen because you've got these new links is going to be very helpful for you to understand if this is a tactic that's working for you and helping you get more traffic. So you want to keep that document that I mentioned with the list of the links you're using so you know what they are, and then you have them right there when you want to change them out. But also you want to make sure that you're tracking your stats using your analytics so that you can take note of any changes in traffic you're seeing and use that information to be even more strategic with your marketing. Now, if you don't have a way to track your stats yet, I will link in the show notes to a free stats tracking template I use with my clients and I share with my Thrive Marketing Academy program members. So the free template does not have all the different areas that we use in the Academy program, but it will get you started with a lot of the basics in there, which will help you track even more than just these links that we're talking about here. Plus, it comes with a video of me showing you how to use the template and customize it for your own practice or business. Like I said earlier, there is gold in this tracking info and the stats that you can be looking at and the numbers, and you don't have to be a multi-million-dollar business and a huge corporation with thousands of employees to get this kind of information. This information is good info that everyone can look at and track with their own business or their practice. And it will really help you shift the results you're seeing from your marketing because it helps you be more strategic. So that's it for today, folks. This is Kathy Colaiacovo. Thanks for listening in. And remember, to thrive in practice, start by being more strategic with your marketing planning to get improved results. And this new feature on Instagram can help you get more traffic instantly, traffic that Google will register, making them see how valuable your website is too. And that's the kind of website they love sending more traffic to as well. So be sure to make this change on your Instagram bio immediately, especially if you've been using one of those free Linktree tools. And you can access all the resources I mentioned on our show notes page at marketingyourprivatepractice.com/49. And I'll see you next time. You can find all of our show notes and resources mentioned at marketingyourprivatepractice.com. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at pepperitmarketing and say hi. I'd love to hear any feedback you have, and make sure to rate and review the podcast and hit subscribe on your favorite player so you don't miss any future episodes.